What if I told you that the fate of the entire Naruto timeline in Boruto 2 Blue Vortex doesn't truly just rest on the shoulders of Boruto Uzumaki, not in the way that we've been thought to believe that only Boruto can save the timeline, but also it rests on the shoulders of a man who nobody in universe outside of select few knows is even alive. A man who is made of the DNA of Jiraiya, a man who was abandoned, a man who has ties to Hidden Leaf Village, yet he can never publicly embrace them. A man who watches multiple timelines from the shadows. Kashin Koji isn't just a secret weapon. He's the last firewall against the catastrophe that even Boruto himself fears is coming. Because if Jura finds him, it's not just Kashin Koji who dies. It is every possible future. This is the tragedy of Kashin Koji and why his existence must remain hidden, or else everything as we know it will end. Also, a quick reminder, if you haven't seen the chapter review already, make sure to check the end credits of this video or down in the description box to check out the chapter review. It is up on the channel. We got that up a couple days late this month. Thank you in advance for your patience and understanding. Now, Kashin Koji as a secret guardian is what we have to look at. So Kashin Koji was created to be a tool, a artificial clone of Jiraiya, manufactured by Amato to destroy Jigen and just weaken up Ishiki for Naruto and Sasuke. He was picked because Jiraiya was born under a star of change. Ironically, Kashin Koji might be carrying out change himself, but after surviving that fight against Ishiki and the death of the one that he was designed to kill, that death obviously being Jigen, Kashin Koji in so many ways was reborn. Not as a tool, but he is now a free man, or as free as you can be, because you can argue he right now is chained to destiny. He is chained to the future itself. And yet he doesn't rejoin society. He doesn't reveal himself to Konoha. He doesn't show his face to Boruto's allies. He doesn't go confront Amato. Why? It's because he knows too much. And it's because he knows too much. It's because he's seen multiple timelines that Shinobi can't even imagine would come into existence. He has witnessed deaths that have never happened. He's witnessed realities that were erased. He's got access to remnants of data from all those possible realities, all those possible outcomes that never came to be. It is all filtered through the lens of his eyes. Eyes that come directly from Jiraiya's genetics as well as Amato's science and the Shibai cells are implanted into him. Kashin Koji is a living paradox, and paradoxes must be hidden. That's why he is so obsessed with this whole concept of being a singularity of fate. Then this gets even more interesting when you look at Jura's obsession with knowledge, because these two things, they're on a crash course collision. So this is where you enter Jura, the Shinju, the being created from the pure chakra of the Ten Tails, the Ten Tails incarnated, and he has a hunger for purpose. He has a pure instinctual desire. But unlike brute force villains, Jura doesn't want power. He wants knowledge. His obsession isn't just curiosity, it's sacrilege. It is hunger for forbidden enlightenment. Jura doesn't seek to just understand everything in this timeline. He isn't just being built up to seek out the harvesting of a chakra fruit. The moment he learns of what Kashin Koji can do, it's going to be to understand the timeline, all timelines, and then ultimately consume all timelines, because a Ten Tails is something that operates off of instinct to consume. And when he learned that Boruto had a mysterious helper who knows how to stay hidden, and that this mysterious helper is in possession of information that he should not have, and that he's been able to guide Boruto even before Jura fully awakened, to the point where Boruto knew beforehand who Jura was and etc., he's not going to see that person as an obstacle. He's going to see that person as a treasure trove of data. He's going to see that person as a book that he gets from the library. Kashin Koji, for all intents and purposes, is a living scroll from multiple possible worlds. If Jura finds Kashin Koji, he doesn't just gain battle strategies or insight. He gains access to the most dangerous thing that a being like him could ever possess. Knowledge of every path not taken, every future that did not unfold, every weakness that never got exposed until now. In other words, Kashin Koji is a map, and Jura is obsessed with collecting the maps that lead to divine information. In this case, this will lead to total destruction. And this is where you have to go again back to what Ikimoto told us last summer. A lot of what he's done with Boruto 2 Blue Vortex is inspired by the Matrix. I liken this again to the Oracle and Agent Smith. I'm going to keep doubling down on this because the further we go into the story, the more parallels I keep seeing. To better understand this, the Oracle was the being who could see all possible outcomes, all possible timelines. Agent Smith was a rogue program who was bent on rewriting the entire system to his image. What made Smith dangerous wasn't just his raw power. It was when he assimilated the Oracle, when he absorbed her foresight, her knowledge, her understanding of choice and fate. That moment didn't just make Agent Smith stronger, it made him inevitable. It made him damn near unstoppable. In the same way, if Jura is able to consume the knowledge that Kashin Koji has via 10 directions, he doesn't just become smarter, he becomes transcendent. Because Jura is not just a monster. In so many ways, he is a spiritual virus, the same way that Agent Smith was a virus. One who grows more powerful with every truth that he is able to steal, every bit of information that he gathers. And in Kashin Koji, he will find a source older than the current reality itself. This gets even more crazy when you look at the Buddhism angle and just the entire premise of the danger of forbidden knowledge that Buddhism teaches about. So in Buddhism, knowledge is considered to be a path of liberation, but not all knowledge brings about peace, which I'm bringing this up again because, as we've said 100 times here on the channel, Naruto and Boruto are series that are steeply rooted in Buddhism and Shintoism. Understanding these aspects make you better understand the different characters that you're reading. There's this concept that is referred to as ignorance, which is not just not knowing, but misunderstanding the truth. Avidava, basically. So Jura doesn't just seek the truth to free himself. He seeks knowledge to dominate. He is driven by Tana, or craving, not necessarily by wisdom. Wisdom is what he's craving, but that craving is a symptom of something even deeper. In Buddhism teachings, craving leads to suffering, especially when it's the craving for forbidden truths, for control over life or death, basically to be all-knowing, to be God. Koji, on the other hand, he is different. Koji, when you look at how he's composed himself, he chooses detachment, he hides himself, he rejects glory, he guides from the shadows. In this way, Kashin Koji is acting as a singularity of fate, which is a Bodhisattva, one who could ascend but chooses to remain behind to protect and guide others. If Jura devours Koji's knowledge, it won't just be a spiritual offense, it will be a true cosmic disruption. It would collapse the delicate karmic balance that allows this version of the world, Boruto's timeline that he's trying to create, to cease to exist and prevent that timeline that Kashin Koji is trying to bring into existence, where Jura is defeated and basically balance is restored. Because Ko did the original sin when he tampered the Ten Tails. He created that imbalance. And like many in Buddhist cosmologies, when one being becomes too powerful through unnatural means, that's when the wheel of samsara will crack. That's where rebirth ends and all things are consumed. Samsara, as you guys know, that is what a lot of the six paths and just the basic Otsutsuki powers are related to. The Ten Tails is a byproduct of the Otsutsuki. These things are interconnected. And that now brings me to the tragedy of Kashin Koji. Kashin Koji, he'll never be praised for what he does. He doesn't have friends. He doesn't get panels of glory. He doesn't even get the girl. He's like his ancestral father, genetic father, Jiraiya. Jiraiya died without ever knowing what it's like to be with Tsunade. Kashin Koji, we don't even know whether or not he likes poontang pie or whether or not he likes strudel. He might like both. We'll never know. He's going to die as a forgotten guardian, hiding in a world that would either use him or destroy him. And yet every second that he stays hidden, every second he spends guiding Boruto, every whisper he delivers through the shadows, every time Boruto survives because of his unseen hand, he is saving the timeline. He's not the hero of the story, but he's the reason why there's a story at all. And this is why Boruto was right to basically say when he was being interrogated, under no circumstances can his helper's identity be revealed. Because if Jura finds him, then this world, this fragile chance at a peace, it is over. This is what makes Boruto 2 Blue Vortex so powerful in terms of the storytelling. It's not just battles. It's a battle shonen, so yes, that's important, but that's not the true make or break. And I'll forever die on the hill. If you take that stance, that's just your typical shonen. I like seeing big meaty men slapping meat, and I like seeing kids beat the hell out of each other. That's surface level comprehension if that's the only thing you take away from this. It's ideas versus ideology. It's the monk versus the monster. It's a man born from science protecting the timeline with silence against a pseudo god who could rewrite everything just to satisfy his curiosity if he ever gets his hands on Kashin Koji's power. So the next time you see someone asking, why is Kashin Koji still hiding? Why doesn't someone reveal who he is? Tell them the truth. He is the oracle who cannot be caught. And if he is, the shinobi world, it ends not just with a bang, but instead it is on a fast pace towards a whimper, a whisper that never should have been heard. As the unknown shinobi monk once said, which I am quoting, those who seek all truths bring the end of all stories, end quote. Obviously, if you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing, clicking here on the left to check out the chapter view, click here up top to check out videos from my One Piece channel, or click here on the right to check out the new Fire Force video from my Anime Explained channel.